Okay, this is the directions for your song lyric slash poem page. I am going to be showing you how to do this on a blank piece of paper just because you won't be able to see my lines on a painted background page. But what you're going to do is and it can just be one page. It doesn't have to be a double spread page. It can be on one that you have borders. If you wanted to go ahead and if you did add borders to more pages, or it can be on a plain page. And what you're going to do is you're going to want to look at the link that I have on there for creative lettering types. And you may even want to practice this on a plain piece of paper first. But the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create some wavy vines. And you want to have at least like probably 5. Like if I'm looking at, I think I'm going to use this set of song lyrics from the Beatles, and there's 4 lines, but I know that some of this may only get 3 words on a line. So I want to have at least like 5 or 6 lines. And how you're going to do this, and I'm going to press dark on here so you can see it, but when you do this on your page with pencil, you want it to be real light. So like, I don't know if you can see, I started the lines on here in pencil, and they're real light. So that's why I'm showing you on white paper. But what you want to do is you want to start off with a wavy line. If you want to have them go straight across, because it's going to read this way, that's fine. But you want them wavy. So I'm just going to do a huge wave. Now, the second one, because I don't want these all the same width apart, so I don't want them parallel, I might start out, I'll start out here, but then I'm going to come up and have it get real narrow and then get wide. So now I might start, I'll start this wide. Keep that kind of wide and then have it get narrow here. So you see how I'm having it change from like narrow then wide. So you want it to constantly vary in the thinness and thickness until you can't fit another one all the way across. I don't know why I keep messing up right there. Okay, then the next step is if you look at some of the examples that I had up there, you can see like how some of them have like neat doodles and designs. If you think you might want to add some things like that, you might want to fill, and I would have it like up in a corner or an edge. But if you wanted to start and add like just some kind of doodles, you could do this coming off of like one side, and maybe over here I'm just gonna have so this is just to add something that maybe could be kind of colorful in here and kind of create some kind of neat little design off to the edge. Like this one, you can see I did up here. Okay, so however you're going to do it. So like, let me come back to this one. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to start with your lettering. You can do it in a creative lettering. When you start your lyric, you can see how here I started with a capital letter and then I went to lowercase. You can do it in all lowercase, you can do it in all uppercase. You can change the fonts that you use. So here you can see I'm using different fonts. The trick to doing this is if you're going to start it on the top line, you want the letter to go from the top of the page to the next line. You fill the entire thing. You don't leave, like I wouldn't do my one letter, have it go clear to the top, and then do my next one and have it low. It has to go, even if it's a lowercase, you have to make sure, let me make this a little darker, that your letters touch the top and the bottom. And they don't go below the lines, okay? So then, like, if this is all filled in, and actually, let me go back to this. Sorry, I keep switching. Let me, and this is how these look real funky. So you see how it's going with the curve from line to line. Then when I come down here, see my first letter. Again, I'm switching fonts all the way down to the bottom. And that's another reason, like I said, you may want to practice this on a piece of paper before you actually do this on your page, just so you can also practice different fonts over here that you might like. Let's see, I'll put an A like this in here, but like I don't really like this M, so maybe I'm gonna come in here and change this and make this, I know I'm erasing a lot here, but I'm gonna make it a little harder to see the finished product, but change it. Come over here. You can see how I have to go with the curve. So you get the idea, but this is how you're going to fill in your lines. If you wanted to leave a little bit of a space, you could come in here and make a parallel super thin line, so that when you come in and start to do the next line, it just goes to that little space. So there is a little bit of a space. I personally like it right next to it. On your finished page, what you'll do is you're going to practice this, your letters, and like I said, you may not get, you only might get a couple lines in. Once you have this done, if you didn't have space to do like any doodles or whatever and you want to, like I said, look at the examples and see, you might want to go back and on another scrap of piece of paper, start with some neat designs first that you could add in, and then put your lettering in after. But like I said, make sure that these are like off in a corner. I think it would be too hard to do them like really in the middle. Do your lettering, practice it first. Everything's going to be in pencil. When you go to do this in your book, you can see how light my lines are, because after I put my letters in pencil, I'm going to come in and erase those curved pencil lines. So you just want to make sure even your letters that you put in here are going to be real light, because you're not going to leave them in pencil. After you have your letters, your designs, and everything done in here, then you're going to go in and you can use the colored pencils I gave you to outline the letters, and then you could go in with watercolor to make them darker in the center. You can use markers if you're sure they're not going to completely soak through to the other page, because we want to avoid this, because it makes this page hard to do. So you just want to make sure whatever you use is not going to soak through to the other side, unless you're doing it, if you've got like your artist page here and you're sure that the markers aren't going to go through on any of your print or pictures. So basically I wanted to make sure you understood how to do the lines, practice it first, make sure the letters reach, whether they're capital, lowercase, figure out what kind of fonts you want to use, make sure that you're not switching fonts so much that it's, you know, hard to read. You want it to be legible. And then, like I said, you'll go in and like you can use colored pencil. I would probably like lighten your line. Well, your lines are going to be light in your book, but go in, you'll go over your lines for your letters, and actually before you do that, I would probably go in and erase the lines that made that you wrote your letters on. I would come in and try to erase the curved lines first, because you don't want to outline those. You want it to look like it's just these letters. Let's see, I'll show you. So if this was, and I would not do this in Sharpie because it will probably leak through. I'm doing this so you can see it. So if this, so it would be just my letters. And these lines that I used, see, it will just be the letters when you're done. And like I said, if you have markers that will not leak through, use those. You're not going to do your pencil lines this dark, so you should be able to use colored pencils if you wanted to outline. Sharpie, I'm afraid it's going to soak through, and you'll fill your page. Look at the examples so you have a good idea of what you're doing. If your background page is super, super light and you wanted to go in and make it like brighter like this before you added the lines, you could do that. And that's it.